The story begins in Latin America, a region plagued by rampant kidnappings. Every single hour, someone disappears, and tragically, 70% of those abducted never survive. John W. Creasy, a former CIA operative, visits his old friend Paul Rayburn in Mexico. Paul, also a retired CIA officer, listens as John asks if he thinks God could ever forgive them for the actions they took while working for the agency. Paul admits he's uncertain, but advises John to try to control his drinking. Curious about John's current life, Paul asks what he's been doing lately. John admits that he's been largely idle. Paul suggests that many people in the city are seeking skilled bodyguards, and he believes John would be perfect for such a role. He tells John about Samuel Ramos, a prominent Mexico City automobile manufacturer whose young daughter, Lupita, nicknamed Pita, requires a bodyguard so her kidnapping insurance policy remains valid. The scene shifts to Samuel speaking with his lawyer, Jordan. The lawyer warns that if Samuel fails to secure a competent bodyguard for his daughter, his business license could soon be revoked. After some persuasion, Paul convinces John to accept the assignment. Later, John rides with Samuel in a car. Samuel examines John's profile and discovers his CIA background. Impressed, he questions why John is now working as a bodyguard instead of pursuing a more prestigious job. John confesses that his drinking has affected his reflexes, making him unfit for government work. Samuel reassures him that he isn't concerned about the drinking. His main priority is ensuring Pita's safety. He does, however, instruct John not to mention the drinking in front of his wife. Upon arriving at the Ramos residence, John meets Lisa, Samuel's wife, who is pleased to know he is American. Lisa calls for her daughter, Pita, who greets John and shows him her room. Pita explains that John is her fifth bodyguard and hopes he won't abandon her like the previous ones. She notices that John often appears sad, but she begins to warm up to him and even names her teddy bear after him. One day, John studies Pita's school map in her room, but the noisy parrot distracts him. He opens the cage and releases the bird, letting it fly freely. The next morning, while driving Pita to school, she peppers him with questions. She asks whether it's challenging to be a black bodyguard in Mexico, to which John responds that only time will tell. Pita mentions that kidnappings have spiked recently, with 24 people abducted just last week. As she continues questioning him, they reach her school. Pita invites John inside, introducing him to her teacher. The teacher scrutinizes John, noting that his sadness and inner turmoil stem from past traumas. She advises him to read the Bible and recite several passages. John responds by reciting verses himself, revealing that he is already familiar with Scripture. While Pita attends school, John waits nearby. After school, he escorts her home, enduring another round of relentless questions. Pita asks if he enjoyed school as a child, and John replies that his school lacked the fun amenities and facilities hers has. Eventually, he grows frustrated and reminds her that he is her bodyguard, not her friend, and asks her to stop with the questions. Hurt, Pita steps out of the car and sits in the back seat. John realizes he has upset her. Back at home, Lisa tries to engage John in conversation, but he explains that he is not talkative and is only there to perform his duties, making it clear he won't be particularly friendly. That night, haunted by memories of his past, John is unable to sleep and attempts to end his life. His gun misfires, sparing him. He calls Paul and confesses everything. Paul urges him to regain control as John stands in the rain. Pita witnesses this from her window and begins to comprehend his pain. The following morning, John takes Pita and her mother, Lisa, to school. While driving, he notices a suspicious car trailing them. He asks Pita for a pencil so he can write down the license plate, but being clever, Pita jots it down herself. It's Pita's swimming competition, and John attends to support her. Despite her efforts, she finishes in third place. On the way home, she laments that she'll never win. John reassures her, explaining that her speed is impressive, but she loses time when diving into the water. Under John's guidance, she begins to swim more confidently, and the bond between them strengthens. Later, John and Lisa travel to another city, leaving Pita in John's care for training. Over time, he grows deeply attached to her, treating her as if she were his own daughter. On the day of her next competition, Pita excels and wins, filling both of them with joy. Pita begins piano lessons and John accompanies her. As he exits the lesson, he spots the car that had been following them earlier. 2 federal police officers have blocked the street, and John senses immediate danger. Realizing that Pita is at risk of being kidnapped, he instructs her to run. A firefight ensues. John kills 4 attackers, including the officers, but is gravely injured, and Pita is taken. After recovering, John is suspected of wrongdoing, but reporter Mariana Guerrero challenges the official story. She notes that the policemen involved were off-duty and had records of corruption. To protect John from the compromised authorities, AFI agent Miguel Manzano relocates him to a veterinary clinic. The leader of the kidnapping ring, known as The Voice, demands a $10 million ransom. Samuel agrees to pay with assistance from Police Lieutenant Victor Fuentes. However, the ransom drop is ambushed, resulting in the death of the Voice's nephew. Holding the Ramos family accountable, the Voice declares that Pita will be lost to them permanently. Mariana warns John that the kidnappers are part of a powerful organization called La Hermandad, comprised of corrupt officials, police, and criminals. Despite this, John promises Lisa that he will eliminate everyone responsible for harming Pita. John searches Pita's room and reads her diary, discovering her affection for him. He also finds the license plate number she wrote and contacts Mariana to gather information about the car. With Paul's assistance, John acquires weapons and tactical equipment. He captures the gate driver, tortures him by severing a finger to extract information, and kills him. The driver directs John to a club where 3 kidnappers are located. John kills the middleman, Jersey Boy, and another criminal, recovering an incriminating ATM card and rescuing another kidnapped girl. He hands both over to Mariana and instructs her to meet him at the club. She also reveals that Fuentes is part of the corrupt network. Manzano interviews Paul, who describes John as an artist of death. Paul notes that once John decides to take revenge, no one involved will be spared. Mariana convinces Manzano to aid John in waging war against the kidnappers. John ambushes Fuentes' motorcade with a rocket-propelled grenade, captures the officer, and attaches a bomb to his body. Under duress, Fuentes admits that he had orchestrated the ambush of the ransom drop, but that most of the money had already been stolen by Samuel's lawyer, Jordan Kalfas. After killing Fuentes, John investigates Kalfas' home and discovers his decapitated body, along with the facts containing bank account information linking back to Samuel. John confronts Samuel and calls his wife. Samuel confesses that Kalfas proposed arranging Pita's kidnapping to claim the insurance money to pay off Samuel's father's debts, despite assurances that Pita would remain unharmed. When Fuentes interfered, Samuel blamed Kalfas for the outcome and killed him. Lisa, unaware of her husband's role, demands that John kill Samuel, or she would do it herself. John leaves Samuel with a gun and the bullet he had previously tried to use on himself. Overcome with remorse, Samuel uses it to take his own life. Mariana and Manzano trace the ATM card to the Voice's wife, locate her address, and infiltrate her home, securing a photograph of the Voice. Despite threats from La Hermandad, Mariana publishes the photo and passes the address to John. John captures the Voice's wife and his brother, Aurelio. During the confrontation, John is shot in the chest, but learns that the ringleader's real name is Daniel Sanchez. He calls Daniel, threatening his family. Daniel reveals that Pita is still alive and offers to trade her for John and Aurelio, which John accepts. John instructs Lisa to join him at the exchange. On a high overpass, he reunites with Pita, assuring her of his love before sending her safely to her mother. John and Aurelio are taken by Daniel's men, and John succumbs to his injuries. He dies with a sense of fulfillment, having protected Pita and completed his mission. In the aftermath, Manzano tracks down Daniel and shoots him during the arrest, ending the ringleader's reign. The story concludes with the resolution of the kidnapping and justice served. And that is how it ended. Like and subscribe for more videos just like this, and remember to turn on notifications. It truly supports the channel. Thanks for watching.